probably been, I think, the most important thing I've done while in Grady.
I think it is an incredible program.
I think the photojournalism emphasis is the reason why so many students who come into Grady actually experience something worth their degree.
I kind of went into it just because I like the visual aspect of journalism. I didn't really know what I was getting into. It's a lot of work. It's not something you do for fun. It's not a hobby. But it was absolutely hands down the most rewarding thing I've done in my college career.
It's probably been, I think, the most important thing I've done while in Grady. I think it's taught me not just specifically about photojournalism, but how to be a better journalist altogether. I think it's taught me basic skills that I can apply really to anything that I wanted to do in life. And so I think that's been really beneficial for me in my growth, especially.
Well, the emphasis teaches us what we need to know right now. I think in terms of audio, photo, video, I was able to take the Maymester video class, and in 3 weeks I knew how to do the basics of what I would be taught or what I would need to know in the field. I interned at the Times in Gainesville, and right now they have staff photographers, but they also ask the reporters, the writers, which I hope to do, hope to be, handheld video, handheld cameras, and so I was able to at least know what to look for, how to compose, and control backgrounds and whatnot.
I think everyone should be learning multimedia skills, and I think everyone should be required to do some kind of a practicum or an internship. As I've been looking for jobs myself and found an internship to follow up my education with, I realized that I wouldn't have been able to get it without the many opportunities I sought out to be published in photojournalism and in print journalism, and the internships that I found. I think the education in the classroom here is obviously not enough to help you find a job when you graduate, because I really believe I wouldn't have done it without every single thing I've tried so far. So yeah, practicum or an internship requirement I think would really help.
I think it definitely needs to be longer than 2 years. I came in to college thinking I'm going to be a magazine major. I don't need to go to the red and black. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. I had no idea. I came in and I said, I want to write. How do I have a career where I can write? And I spent freshman year taking English classes, which is completely different than journalism. And had I gotten into Grady early, I think I would have realized the importance of getting a real life experience. And I came in wanting to be a magazine major, wanting to do magazines. I've only taken one magazine writing class. And I think, I've gotten a lot more out of the photojournalism emphasis than I have in any of my other Grady classes. And had I known that that was going to be the path that I wanted to pursue, I could have started a lot earlier. I just started junior year, and it's what I want to do now. So I think yes, I think I could definitely, and a lot of people could benefit from starting earlier.
I'm really lucky that I've got into school and then liked it, because 2 years into my education I didn't have a lot of other options. And there's so much to learn, and there's so much more I would have done had I started earlier. So I absolutely think it should be a 3 or 4 year program.
I've voiced my opinion several times on curriculum, as many students have at Grady, in terms of, we're behind the times, and not just 1995 behind the times, but even sometimes 1980, in terms of knowing what we need to know to write, not only for print as it's changing, but also online. And again, with photojournalism, like photo, video, one person can't be the only professor in Grady who teaches this, and I feel like that's the case.
I think a major weakness is the lack of writing classes. Like I said, I'm a magazines major. I've taken one magazine writing class, and that's it. And it blows my mind that I'm going to graduate and it's going to say magazines on my diploma, and after spending so much time and effort on the photojournalism emphasis that it's not even going to say that. So, I think that you either need to improve on the magazines or, the specific parts and, add more classes so I can get more experience, or maybe make a major out of photojournalism because, looking back on my time in Grady, I'm going to remember the photojournalism emphasis because that's what I spent the most time on. And I mean, I spent one semester in magazine writing. I don't think I got enough experience with that.
The photo emphasis was a big part of my experience at Grady, and I think it was definitely the strength of all the classes I took here. I definitely learned the most overall in those 3 classes. And also the communication law class I felt was a really important class to my overall education, just because it was specific material that I couldn't really learn on my own or just figure out through common sense, and it was stuff that I really needed specific classroom instruction to learn that kind of thing, so that was really important to me too. A big weakness to me was the design class. I felt like that class was kind of outdated, and I didn't really get much out of that. And I guess I can't really say much about the writing classes because I skipped some to be in the photo emphasis, but the few writing classes I was in didn't seem like we did enough actual writing as much as we did just listen to lectures. So I felt like that was something that could have been improved on, but then again at the same time maybe that was something that I missed by being in the photo emphasis.
I know that Grady is trying to add pieces of the internet and whatnot into each of the classes, but we know how to do blogs. So it's not really, we're not learning anything by like, okay, write this story and now we're going to create a blog for the class, so put it on there. It doesn't have that extra impact. I think something more substantial where all of the classes are producing together, I guess that's Grady Journal, so that helps in a way for the students who aren't going to, I guess, have the gumption or the initiative, there you go, to actually go and produce in a publication. But I think pushing more online in a way, I'm trying to find a more concrete idea to explain that. I really like the digital literacy idea that you have in terms of, if somebody can't take the photojournalism emphasis, they still need to know how to do audio. So how do we reach more students, even if they can't take a full 3-hour class? This weekly seminar could really help them to learn at least a little bit of what they need to know.
I don't know if there's a best part. I think the most rewarding part for me was doing the projects in the documentary program where we got to look at public housing in Athens, and we got to go into Hall County and look at the effect of gangs on youth there. Those made me feel like I was telling a story and I wasn't just taking pictures, and I was impacting people with what I was doing. And I think that's the first time I felt that in Grady. So I think that was definitely the most rewarding part. It was definitely the hardest part too, but it was the most rewarding part.
I would definitely sort of be just think long and hard about it, and be willing to put in a ton of work, because it's going to be a ton of work, and you'll get as much out of it as you put into it. And if you're not willing to put much into it, you're not going to get much out of it, and you're probably not going to get put forward in the emphasis. But if you put a lot into it, you'll probably get more out of it than any other class in Grady. The photo emphasis is awesome, and it's definitely the best decision I made while I was in Grady.